Grand Ayatollah Shirazi, only Ahl al-Bayt know true tafsir of Quran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is Ayub Nouinou and you're watching Shia Waves live on Imam Hussein TV 3. United Nations rights experts have condemned France's ban on the hijab in sports, labeling it as discriminatory and demanding its reversal, Al Jazeera reported yesterday. The French government has invoked strict secularism laws to prohibit athletes from wearing religious symbols, including the hijab, during the upcoming Paris 2024 Olympics. This ban extends to various sports federations, including football and basketball, which have excluded hijab-wearing players from competitions at all levels. In a statement signed by 8 independent UN experts, they emphasized that Muslim women and girls who wear the hijab should have equal rights to participate in cultural and sporting activities. They argued that these restrictions infringe on the rights of athletes to express their identity and beliefs publicly. The experts highlighted that the principles of neutrality and secularism should not justify limitations on freedom of expression and religious practice. They called for France to protect the rights of hijab-wearing women and promote equality and respect for cultural diversity. While the French team at the Paris Olympics did not include hijab-wearing athletes, the International Olympic Committee allowed participants to wear the hijab in the athletes' village. Eleven international human rights organizations have criticized the global firm Clifford Chance for publishing a report on Saudi Arabia's human rights situation, alleging it aims to bolster Saudi Arabia's bid to host the 2034 World Cup. The groups labelled the report as flawed, accusing it of providing an incomplete picture by overlooking issues such as freedom of expression, women's rights and migrant labour. The report has raised questions about the integrity of the bidding process, especially given earlier remarks from FIFA President Gianni Infantino hinting at Saudi Arabia's hosting prospects even before voting concluded. Saudi Arabia's plans to construct 11 new stadiums for the tournament also raised labour rights concerns, particularly under the controversial kafala system, often criticised for enabling worker exploitation. According to the rights organizations, human rights have deteriorated in Saudi Arabia in recent years, with restrictions on freedom of expression rising, execution rates, and continued suppression of political and social rights, especially affecting women. They warned that the World Cup bid could serve to improve Saudi Arabia's global image despite ongoing violations. The World Health Organization has released a progress report highlighting substantial advancements in the digital transformation of healthcare across its European region, marking 2 years of implementation of its regional digital health action plan. More details in the following report.
The report, issued on October 28, showcases the strides made in 18 key focus areas aimed at enhancing health systems, improving access to care, and driving innovation through digital solutions. Dr. Hans Henry, WHO Regional Director of Europe, emphasized the importance of equitable access to digital health technologies, stating, "Our goal is to make sure that this change is fair and beneficial for everyone everywhere." Since the adoption of the Digital Health Action Plan in September 2022, WHO Division of Europe has collaborated with all 53 member states to establish norms and guidelines, enhance governance capacities, and promote digital literacy. The organization has produced 14 technical publications addressing various aspects of digital health, including artificial intelligence, telemedicine, and health equity. To further support member countries, WHO Europe Division has launched initiatives like the Coding Data and Digital Health webinar series and the Strategic Partners Initiative for Data and Digital Health. These efforts aim to foster collaboration among over 100 institutions from multiple sectors, ensuring that digital health solutions are safe, affordable, and patient-centered. As the action plan progresses into its third year, WHO Europe Division plans to expand research on digital health's role in climate sustainability and antimicrobial resistance, while also focusing on gender issues and healthy aging. Additionally, a regional report on artificial intelligence is in development, alongside a technical advisory group to guide its safe implementation. Dr. Natasha Azapardi Muscat underscored the need for ongoing collaboration across sectors to address emerging challenges in digital health, emphasizing the commitment to equity in access to these technologies for vulnerable populations. Reporting for Shia Waves, Muthanna Al-Musawi.
Let's take a look back at today's main headlines. UN experts criticize France's hijab ban in sports as discriminatory. Rights groups accuse Clifford Chance of whitewashing Saudi human rights record to support World Cup bid. WHO reports significant progress in digital health transformation across Europe. Also tonight, Human Rights Watch urges African summit to address ongoing atrocities in DRC and Sudan. On Tuesday, the 18th of Rabi' al-Thani, the daily scholarly session led by Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq al-Hussein al-Shirazi was held in his residence in Qom. In this session, as in previous meetings, the Supreme Marja responded to attendees' questions regarding various jurisprudential issues. Regarding the interpretation of the Quran, Grand Ayatollah Shirazi stated, the term tafsir in the Arabic language means uncovering the obscure, that is, making difficult and complex matters clear. His Eminence continued, therefore, if some verses of the Quran appear to be clear at first glance, they are not referred to as requiring tafsir, Quranic exegesis. He also emphasized, however, if there are verses in the Quran with meanings that are obscure and difficult, those verses require tafsir. The Supreme Religious Authority further stated, in such circumstances, there is no source for providing exegesis of these verses other than the Ahlul Bayt. No one besides the Ahlul Bayt knows the inner meanings of the Quran, and thus the tafsir of the Quran is derived from the Ahlul Bayt. Referring to verse 7 of Surah Al-Imran, he said, according to narrations, the Rasikhun mentioned in this noble verse, who know the tafsir of the Quran besides God are only the Ahlul Bayt. Let us observe and listen to the statements of Grand Ayatollah Shirazi.
مو الظواهر يا أيها الذين آمنوا أقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة، هذا ما يحتاج تفسير. أما يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك، شنو؟ لا، شنو ما أنزل في علي عليه السلام. التفسير يؤخذ من أهل البيت، إنما يعرف القرآن من خوطب به.
بس هم مو كل بعض الأحيان يأخذوا من أهل البيت. بعض حتى الآيات اللي تتكلم جنابك عليها هم يفسروها الفقهاء المفسرين.
لا المفسرين الشيعة اللي غامض اللي مو واضح ما يأخذوا إلا عن أهل البيت إلا بالروايات.
ما يذكر الرواية بالتفسير.
ليش؟ أحيانا الرواية من ذكروها باعتبار الاختصار، وإلا في الروايات ماكو تفسير إلا عن أهل البيت.
And now we continue some short news. Tunisian authorities on Monday announced the recovery of 15 bodies of migrants who drowned off the coasts of Meloulesh, Salakta and Sheba in the Mediterranean, a frequent route for migrants seeking to reach Europe. National Guard spokesperson Hossam Adin Jebali reported that the bodies were found over the weekend, and on Monday, while the migrants' nationalities remain identified due to decomposition, many victims in past incidents have been from sub-Saharan Africa. This tragedy is one of many migrant drownings as Tunisia faces growing European pressure to monitor its shores. Last month, 13 migrants from sub-Saharan Africa and 15 Tunisians, including infants, drowned in separate incidents off Tunisian coasts while attempting to reach Europe. During the first half of this year, Tunisia reported the recovery of 462 migrant bodies and prevented hundreds of irregular migration attempts. In support of these efforts, the EU has provided Tunisia with €127 million as part of a broader migration agreement. British academic Peter Hopkins from Newcastle University has highlighted that official UK statistics do not fully represent the scale of hate crimes against Muslims, as many avoid reporting incidents of discrimination. Hopkins noted that anti-Muslim sentiment has intensified, particularly amid Middle Eastern tensions and the Israeli-Gaza conflict, leading to an increase in hate crimes that are often underreported. The British academic explained that some police officers classify complaints from Muslims as incidents rather than hate crimes, skewing the official data, emphasizing a trust gap between Muslims and the police, with many believing their reports will not be taken seriously. Additionally, the rise of far-right activity on social media and certain media outlets' portrayal of Muslims has fueled negative stereotypes and misinformation. Similarly, the group Tell Mama reported an unprecedented increase in hate incidents against Muslims, while the Muslim Council of Britain issued a warning about the rising trend. Afghanistan is facing a dire healthcare crisis under Taliban rule, with alarming rates of maternal and child mortality, an article published on Hasht al-Subh Daily revealed yesterday. The European Union reports that every 2 hours a mother dies from pregnancy-related complications, and only 10% of women have access to primary healthcare. The country has one of the highest maternal and infant mortality rates globally, exacerbated by a growing burden of non-communicable diseases, which account for nearly 50% of deaths, with women composing half of these casualties. In response, the EU plans to allocate €31 million to improve healthcare, with funds directed to the World Health Organization and the United Nations Population Fund. However, challenges remain, including a lack of trained professionals and limited resources. Currently, 3.2 million children under 5 and 840,000 pregnant women suffer from acute malnutrition, raising concerns about their survival and long-term health outcomes. The Iraqi Ministry of Education announced plans to adopt a Lebanese education curricula in response to the influx of refugees fleeing the ongoing conflict with Israel, Ruda news agency reported yesterday. Spokesperson Karim As-Sayyid confirmed that approvals have been granted to establish schools following the Lebanese education system, staffed by Lebanese educators currently in Iraq. Since Israel intensified its strikes against Hezbollah, approximately 13,000 Lebanese refugees have arrived in Iraq. As-Sayyid noted that a number of refugees, referred to as guests of Iraq, continues to rise, with hundreds of families entering daily. Iraq's Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani allocated 3 billion dinars, which is about $2.27 million, to assist these refugees. The Al-Qa'im border crossing sees 5 to 10 buses of Lebanese arrive each day, with around 8,000 refugees currently residing in Karbala and others in Baghdad, Najaf and Salah ad-Din. Additionally, Iraq has sent 150 tons of aid to Lebanon since the conflict began, highlighting its support for those affected by the crisis. Albanian Muslims in Switzerland continue to strengthen their cultural and religious presence with the recent opening of a new Islamic center in Herzogenbuchsee, Bern Canton, approximately 25 kilometers from the administrative capital, Bern. This center, inaugurated on October 26th, follows the opening of another in Winterthur, Zurich Canton on September 29th. The celebrations extended beyond traditional ceremonies, featuring religious leaders and officials from Islamic institutions in Albania, Kosovo and North Macedonia, fostering a sense of pride and belonging among the Albanian Muslim community in Switzerland. These centers serve as important cultural and religious spaces for Albanians to connect and preserve their Islamic identity, especially for future generations. The Albanian Muslim community in Switzerland is one of the most active, regularly developing its Islamic institutions, reflecting its commitment to religious values and positive integration into Swiss society. Human Rights Watch has called on African leaders attending the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa Summit, set for October the 31st, 2024, in Bujumbura, Burundi, to prioritize rights-based solutions to address crises in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Sudan. In a statement seen by Shia Waves agency, the organization urged leaders to discuss steps to end atrocities committed by the M23 armed group, the Rwandan army, Congolese security forces and allied militias, as well as to strengthen the accountability and support a UN mission to protect civilians in Sudan amidst ongoing violations. Human Rights Watch emphasized that the summit offers a crucial opportunity for African leaders to address these regional crises, pointing out that impunity fuels continued abuses. The statement highlighted extensive abuses by the Rwanda-backed M23 group in the DRC, including killings, mass rape and property destruction. Concerning Sudan, the organization documented ethnic cleansing by the Rapid Support Forces against non-Arab communities in West Darfur, involving executions and sexual violence. It called for urgent action to protect civilians' rights and end these atrocities. We have reached the end of today's Shia Wave Show. Let's remind our viewers of the main headlines. UN experts criticize France's hijab ban in sports as discriminatory. Rights groups accuse Clifford Chance of whitewashing Saudi human rights records to support World Cup bid. WHO reports significant progress in digital health transformation across Europe. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi, only Ahl al-Bayt know true tafsir of Quran. HRW urges African Summit to address ongoing atrocities in DRC and Sudan. You can view the latest news on our Shia Waves website, or you can send news of your city or country to be published on our news agency. Please contact us on the number at the bottom of your screen. Thank you all for watching. We pray to Allah Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
When a person cries for Imam Hussein, this tear that comes out of the eye is an expression of the love and the mahabba